that's one of the things, when I did my book, The History of Gangster Rap, I was talking about the reality is people got confused because of the N this or the B that or the violence or profanity, but they didn't listen to what the lyrics were. And the lyrics were very anti all this stuff, all the negativity. It was very thoughtful, positive, uplifting if you really listen to what the lyrics are.
Right.
Colorblind's a prime example. You don't work, you don't eat's a prime example. These are real songs that are like, yo, this is happening. N.W.A. Dope Man. That's the biggest anti-drug song you can make.
Straight up.
But that's you know, that type of music does get made today, but it's drowned out by so much of the other stuff. So back with the Lynch Mob, how did it go from being this big group to just you, Shorty, and T-Bone? How did that end up happening the way it did?
Well, I like Chili Chill's story. Chili Chill got a version. Everybody got a version. The truth of the matter is this. We were 15 fucking deep. The Lynch Mob had so much talent in it. K-Dee, Dazzy D, myself, T-Bone, Shorty, rest in peace, and so on and so on. Three, Dale. And you couldn't put that together back then. I wish he would have, because he would have been the RZA of the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? He really would have. Lynch Mob would have been that Wu-Tang, because we would have all just brought this different flavor of our own to the table. Cube decided to take three: me, T-Bone, and Mark. Marky was with a brother named Yomo at the time. Yomo and Marky had just signed a deal, or was about to sign a deal with Ruthless, with Eazy. They were going to do a song called For the Love of Money that ended up being given from them to Bone Thugs and Harmony. Marky, why don't you come rap with the Lynch Mob? Man, I don't want to be rapping with all y'all niggas. There's too many niggas in that group. That was his exact words. So Q was like, okay. Plus, we about to sign with Eazy. Okay. Okay. Eazy dropped it. He dropped it from the label, took the music that they had. Bone Thugs and Harmony ended up with that music. Q said, what about Shorty? I said, shit, I'll write this shit if you write with me. I'll write Shorty shit. Shorty can make contributions, but me and you can write Shorty shit and we just let him learn the words. She said, okay, learn the verses, learn the words. Okay, there we go. I wanted to do a gangster rap out. Q said no. I said, why not? Let's do a gangster rap out. You know what I mean? Let the Lynch Mob be gangster rappers. Like, man, let's go political with it. Let's stay positive. I'm like, I don't come from a positive location. Every bullet hole in my body comes from a nigga. That ain't positive. No disrespect to the N-word, but every motherfucking bullet in my body came from a nigga gun. Ain't no white man shot me. So I'm not finna sit here and mean the white man this and the white man that. Fuck all that, bro. You finna have us motherfucking targeted while you keep doing gangster shit. He's like, no, trust me. You're gonna love it and you're gonna thank me later. Man, we sat back and wrote. This motherfucker come up with Buck the Devil. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
I didn't know what to say after that. I trusted his fucking process. Might be on to something. Then he said, we got an AK. I said, wait a minute. What are we about to do? We about to be some Panthers or something? I thought we was monsters. Then he come with You and Your Heroes. I said, fuck it, I got to do Lost in the System. And by that time, we had the crux of the album.
Well, to your point, Lost in the System in particular is extremely different lyrically, stylistically, attitudinally, every single way. It's very different. So, um, what made you so pronounced to be like, nah, I'm gonna do Lost in the System to, was it to balance off the other songs or was it to,
At Lost in the System, All on My Nutsack, and my other one, man, Who You Gonna Shoot With That?
right?
Those were my ones. But Lost in the System, it told the story about this youngster slide from one side of town to the other, picked up some beer on the way, get bumped up by the cops, had a warrant, went to court for just the warrant, But Lost in the System was a story of how just going to jail for a warrant can change your entire life. Because to get in there to fight the warrant and you know you're going to get out after you go to court, you end up getting into a fight with a guy over the phone. You break his fucking jaw, he hit his head on the bench. Now you got assault with a deadly weapon or whatever, whatever. Now that turns into a case. That turns into a year. That turns into this. And that's what Lost in the System was like. If you don't navigate the right way, you're subject to be fucked over, you know?
Yeah.
And it was kind of prophetic too, because the final pen that I paroled from was in Blythe.
Wow. Well, I did wonder about the propheticness or the irony of it all later as I from afar was learning about your case because I did remember that song and I was like, wait, this sound like a relatively similar thing. And but also now with the extra layers of the anger and the stuff we talked about today, in that story, the character is talking about or talking back to the judge. The
Yeah,
character is angry.
yeah, yeah,
It in the process.
absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck the judge, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Racist motherfuckers don't always do us like this. I was just a mad motherfucking kid, man. I was a man. And another thing, bro, that I never really addressed, as a kid was I didn't really like me. I didn't like my name. I didn't like the name Deshaun.
Hmm.
For a long time, I didn't like the name Deshaun. I thought that it was like not masculine enough. I wanted to be a David. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be a fucking Kevin, a Tony. You know, Deshaun, come here. I changed my name to D, then to J-Dee. But first it was Lil Wolf, Crazy D to Little Wolf to J-Dee.
Well, I did always wonder where did the J come from?
Because I was a weed junkie. And my homie said, boy, you a motherfucking junkie. You a straight pot junkie. Nigga, I smoked a joint one day all the way till it disappeared. And he was like, God damn, D, you a straight fucking junkie. And the homie looked at me and said, yep, that's his name, Junkie D. So I just abbreviated it one day because I wanted to call it J-Dee because the motherfuckers kept knocking on the door. Hey, Auntie, tell Junkie D we outside. And she would say,
Wow.
hey, Funky D, your homeboys is outside. I said, my name ain't no Funky D. She said, I'd rather use Funky D than Junkie D, baby. I don't want to be calling you Junkie. I said, Auntie, I just smoke weed. I
Hmm.
was lying. I was lying like a motherfucker. I tried every gateway drug. I don't think pot was a gateway drug. I think my gateway drug came before pot.
Hmm. Now, with Gorillas in the Mist, the thing that was very striking to me about this album was I grew up where it was very racially diverse. But what I noticed is Gorillas in the Mist was the first album that I noticed my white friends that liked to rap did not like because of You and Your Heroes and some of the other messages. Now, some of this stuff had been on similarly said elsewhere, but what do you, and that didn't bother my friends for whatever reason. What was it do you think about Gorillas in the Mist or You and Your Heroes or whatever else that was on this album would have affected young white people so significantly to where if they heard similar stuff on Death Certificate, it didn't matter, or X Clan or whoever, Brand Nubian. Why did that, from your perspective, why do you think that that would have affected people so harshly?
When me and Cube and I started talking about the impact we were going to have on talking about these American icons, and you can't take a Marilyn Monroe and just piss on a Marilyn Monroe, even if she was a whore for the Kennedys. You know, a black man just can't do that. And so Cube said, yes, we can. Yes, when we are, you know. And I was like, look, Robert and John shared this bitch, man. She had her own Marilyn Monroe back door, bro. I said, you can't sit back and say, fuck Elvis. He said, yes, we can, and we are. I said, look, Lincoln, I understand Lincoln. He said, man, fuck they heroes, bro. And I was like, Q, how are we going to write this? And this shit came on. And I was like, oh, Elvis, that's a sample from Public Enemy.
Right, fight the power.
So what the fuck? How you guys get mad at us? The reason why was it was split down the middle because I got some Harvard kids and some Yale kids that literally sat outside my hotel fucking door. 4 or 5 white chicks, couple of white dudes, and we sat Indian, our legs crossed Indian style, bro, and just chopped it up all fucking night and drank about this album. These kids were more fascinated about the plight, you know, of ours in South Central and across the country that they wanted to become involved. You know what I mean? But then you had these other kids in Georgia, Georgia Tech. They didn't want to hear that shit. So the country was split, and you can see demographically and geographically, you know, these kids down south like, fuck you mean, fuck you and your heroes, you know. And up north, they're like, you know what? I get it. I get it. You know what I'm saying? These people shouldn't be given this kind of light. So I think it was just in your face, bro. It was really in your, that album was in your face.